And what was the first moment that you had where you thought, okay, like we're really onto something here. Like this could really be a thing for like years, not just a moment.
I always, because T was so young, I was always planning for the years. Like even you can even just say like our deal.
Yeah.
Like that's not an average deal that you do if you think that you're gonna just do it.
Yeah.
Like once you get the check, then isn't it? You know, I licensed the record. I gave T a share of the company because it wasn't only about me. I knew that I thought that he would be. There was a chance of him being so influential in the elevation of the company that I knew, regardless on where he was gonna be, he needed to be part of the company because he was. As I saw it as a long term, and I knew he was gonna be. I was so committed at that time that it was almost like there was no other options. I wasn't planning for now because there was no way I was going back. So this was life. You know what I mean? It wasn't, what am I going to do? Say I failed? I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And is there one like particular
moment
or record that
so
you
I'll
thought?
tell you. Because there's many, like the moment that, you know, like we had a little thing where when we put out Written in the Stars, not Written in the Stars, Hood Economics, it got written, there was a review in the New York Times.
Yeah, wow.
In like Hood Economics. And we were like, whoa, like someone wrote about it. And then I felt, obviously, you know, T being experimental and like pushing in sound, you could see that there was a growth, there was a gap in the market for that. So that was interesting. And then through that, Playboy wrote about him because he used a sample, and then some people started chasing us for like sample clearance, and I realized, oh wow, there's a bigger world out there. So that was a moment. Being booked for Wireless was a moment when I thought, okay, cool, T had landed. But then really, obviously, the real, the feeling of, oh, we're onto something. You would say the real taste, where it gets to the next level, is Pass Out. Like, you know, that's, you can't beat that. One, you feel that feeling of knowing you've got a hit, or the difference of like when it's just stepped up a level. You've got into like 5th gear, or let's say 3rd, 4th gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And was it like, because from my perspective, like back in those times I was blogging, and I remember when Pass Out came out and I was like, this sounds like a hit. Did you guys have that same feeling when you were making it?
In the studio, I remember we turned off the lights and we turned off the lights, we like, whoa. Like even when he just started going, and he just, because at this time, me and T we were making lots of music, and we had recorded, me, T and Rich had recorded 12 records that were almost like crossover records to go. So we had an album. So we got signed with this album. And there was a song called Biker Babes that we started because we wanted it to be a little bit more, you know, everyone was doing that house kind of thing. So we tried to come with this Biker Babes record, and like we shot a video for it, and the video was whack. But Master Shorty's album, we were listening to that, and me and T really liked the album, and I remember like, who produced this? And then I remember we started getting talking to Amber in Sony ATV, and then she was courting us at this time. And then I was like, who produced this album? And she was like, there's a kid called Labyrinth. And then we went to we were like, we need to link. No, we already knew there's a boy called Labyrinth, but we were like, Labyrinth, because T was like, it's a guy called Labyrinth, D. I was like, Labyrinth, like, who's this kid? Like, it's not, we didn't even know if it was a kid or as a man. It was, who is Labyrinth? Like, whoa, the music is crazy. Anyway, so when I met Amber, I was like, who's Labyrinth? And then she linked us. We got into the session. And I think that may have been, I don't know if T and him met first, or that may be of me. I think in that session, they might have even done, they either done Pass Out and Frisky that day.
Wow, yeah.
Or they did Pass Out and Wonder Man.
Yeah.
One of those two. But Pass Out Yeah, when they, because like Mark Williams, who was Will Abram's manager at the time, like his sister was in there and Aisha, the stylist, and I remember they came in like halfway like through the session, and then they were just like saying the lyrics in the studio session after it was going on, and then we were like, this is a smash. Like, we were so happy. I remember like that was probably a moment, and then from there you just get that, it's just like probably striking a ball or knowing like what a killer shot is, you know what I mean? You just, it
all clicks into gear kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's a feeling, and it's a sonic too. It's how I think sometimes it's how wide dynamic. A hit has a feeling. It's heavy, like it gives you an inner.
Yeah, because I remember like the reason I asked you like what did you feel was the moment was because for me Pass Out was obviously a massive moment, but I almost felt like Frisky was as big a moment because it was the follow-up record.
Oh,
and it was like from the first 5 seconds you're like, oh, okay,
mate,
okay,
here.
So this is really
this
a
is
thing.
real. It's real.
This
it's
isn't
real.
like a one-track thing.
Yeah.
And again, Labyrinth produced that as well, so it's like
it was real.
Yeah, that felt like from an outside perspective, that felt like a really big moment as well.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like, for you guys, what was the kind of, how did you celebrate those like moments of success, and how do you still celebrate those moments of success when you have them?
I think sometimes me and T are so, and that's why we work together, but we're so driven, and both of us are so driven. At that time, we were just almost like, we have to do this again. So I think we always enjoy ourselves because we're good friends and we hang around with the same people. So we'll have a drink. We probably, but it's always just back to. So and sometimes I'd think for the last like 6 years, I think even like psychologically, it's kind of probably affected both of us in different ways.
In what sense?
In terms of like probably dealing with like praise or accepting your position or understanding where you are. You know what I mean? Because we're so obsessed in just keeping it moving, you don't really poke your head up to breathe and say, wow, look what we've done. You know what I mean? You're just like, okay, cool. Because like, you don't want to be a one-hit wonder. You don't want to fail. So success, it has, it's a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The pressure of success, because you have to repeat. You don't want to fall. As they say, the bigger you are, the harder you fall,
Mm-hmm.
So that's just it. So you're just going. But we love it because we spent so many hours working and dreaming and thinking about it, So you enjoy the moment, and we were enjoying like that our lives were changing and we were living a dream, But it was just so... I was learning on my feet. Not really learning on my feet, but then I was looking after him like 6 years. So I knew what I was doing, but now you're in the big time. You know what I mean? He's doing academy tours. Before, it gets to arenas. We're touring around the world. You know what I mean? Like every Tom, Dick and Harry's calling me. It's exactly like what you know. So you're just almost like, you have to be that person who you wanted to be. So, like you have to rise to the occasion, because especially me, obviously me and T have got an amazing relationship. But at that time, but maybe because we're so close, it wasn't really that, it wasn't a real issue, but there was sharks around. They're waiting for you to, you've got more third parties. It's just not me and him. It's the label. Oh, your manager's not got back to the emails, or your manager's doing this, or, you know what I mean? What's happening with your tour? So your answer, you're trying to think 10 steps ahead so no one trips you up. So I have to respond back to every email straight away. I have to be like in the meeting leading, you know what I mean? So it was just, you just had to step up.
Yeah.
So, and I remember like, both of us, maybe we would just rose to the occasion and we both helped each other. But so I think sometimes we haven't really, it's only of late, I would probably say, like recently, we've kind of like said, wow. It's really, because there's always so much more to do. Because we're so like, it's such a, it's still an early stage in our culture, like in UK urban music as an industry and just what we do. We're still a couple steps behind the Americans, you know, and a few years behind. So there's so much more to do. So the more success you have, the more responsibility you have. Or maybe how we probably look at it, we feel like we've got more to do.
Even with, I guess, things like, you know, levels of success that you guys have kind of experienced. It's like, you know, from the 1% trying to sell those 10,000 records to 1 million people via MySpace, or, you know, number one singles, number one albums, world tours, you know, international events, whatever it may be. It's like, over that time, or over this period of time, has your view on what you would define success changed?
Oh yeah, of course, man. Yeah. You know, success is relative. You know what I mean? How successful I want to be and how successful you want to be can be two different things. And success and happiness are two different things too. Because people can always feel, does success make you happy? These are two different things that you learn. But, and again, it's what is the perception of success changes too, or the measure of success. So, yeah, you know, the measures of success, because there's titles, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, if you're an athlete and to win gold medals is a thing that defines you being successful, you become the most celebrated athlete, you have all the awards in the world, you have all the medals, so you're successful. But is the athlete that become an athlete and then went to the Olympics, is he not successful too? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then the athlete that went to the Olympics and the athlete that got the medals, who's happy and who's sad? So success is relative, you know what I mean? So everyone just has to be honest to themselves, and success comes from within. You know what I mean? And whatever your heart desires on what you deem as successful, that's successful. You know what I mean? But then yes, in the world in which some things are measured, a credit is measured on success. You know what I mean? Or success gives you money sometimes. You know what I mean? Or, you know, so yeah, in the earthly world, or, you know, the real world, then if that's your challenge and you want to be, you have to understand, okay, cool, if I want to be the most successful, I want to sell the most records. If that's what you want to do, then that's a portion of life. That's just a target. That's a bucket list. Okay, you ticked after this. I was the most successful. Just like in selling the most records that week, that year.
Yeah.
You're in history, okay? That success is not going to mean you're going to be happy for the rest of your life. That's an achievement and it's legacy, you could say. It stands in history. So you have to know what race you're in, you know what I mean? It's like, if you want to be in that race, you want to be the best, and to win that race means you'll be the best, and for the world to know you're the best, then do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, at the time, was it about having like number ones, a load of number ones? No, it was about just making impact and just changing culture or shifting perception. And if the measure of that was having number ones, that made people believe that we shift culture. But again, that's arguable. Some people can say if you've been the most celebrated artist in the world in a decade, you did shift culture. You know what I mean? Especially from an underground space, you've really shifted culture.
Yeah.
But then some people might say that we didn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really like, you know, but then obviously, but in our hearts, we know what we've done and we know what it's done for everyone else. So it's not from what someone else tells you, it's for what you know. And then whatever people know in their heart of hearts, because everyone knows what impact or what's how, you know what, I'm looking at you Al, and I'm saying you're a young successful man with a great podcast, you know what I mean? I sat down with you and I said to myself, you know what, that's great, you made a decision and you've done it, and now you're doing what you love, you're successful. You know what I mean? Be it if Joe Bloggs down the road doesn't think you're not successful, but I do, and you know you are. You know what I mean? So it depends. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the perception of success is, as I said, it's like, it's just relative, and it just more now. This is just about having impact and just changing perception. I think there's a bigger thing. Like Stormzy's success is polarizing, and it changes culture.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're an anomaly and you do something so great, the success in what you've achieved is bigger than your success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's legacy. More, I want to have legacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then if success is just like, if success comes with that, then I'm successful. But I'm more about trying to build a legacy and build and set an example and just let people know that this is where you can take it.
Yeah. I think you guys have done that, you know, through your work. It's been, like I said at the beginning, inspiring to see. And I think a lot of people will see that as a form of success and take away the material success. It's like the legacy side of it as well is like a huge part of that, like massive part of that, if not bigger, you know.